You can't talk about the 911 GTS without saying a pretty bad word. A pretty disgusting word in the sports car vocabulary, that is hybrid. To give it its full name, the Porsche 911 Carrera or Carrera 4 GTS T-Hybrid. T-Hybrid. No, not the catchiest. We are here in Chiang Mai, surrounded by some of the most epic roads in Southeast Asia to soak up this thing, the new Porsche 911, specifically the 992.2. The .2 means facelift, by the way. Legit question, guys. Can you tell the difference between, visually, the 992.2 here and the 992.1? This is your new 992.2 911 Carrera. That's a mouthful. It's your base model, okay? But being a 911 still, it is super gorgeous. That shape, it's so evocative. Some exterior tweaks, starting with these headlights, no separate turn indicators anymore, optional laser headlights or HD matrix in Porsche speak, tweaked backside, new exhaust tailpipes and positioning, and its 3-liter twin-turbo flat 6 is bumped to 394 PS and 450 Newton meters for a 0-100 time of 3.9 seconds, or the same time as a Carrera GT. But more specifically, this is the car that everyone's talking about right now, the GTS, the new 11 GTS, the 992.2 GTS, which, you know, is the bridge variant between all the angry Carreras. This is the most angry, the fastest, and also the most powerful, but not quite as mental as a GT3. So that means you can do all that daily drive supercar type things that 911 does so well, but now even better. So you get 60 PS more than the outgoing GTS, and it's got 15 PS more than even the GT3. And in supercar fast, 610 Newton meters, 540 PS. It is 8.7 seconds quicker around the Nürburgring than the previous GTS. Top speed 315 kilometers per hour. But the big changes really are back here, because there's some significant changes under the bonnet, which is all obscured, and you can't really see the engine. But trust me, a lot of changes. First of all, the engine. It loses a turbocharger. So last time it used to be a 3-liter flat 6 twin turbo. So now single turbo. We'll get to that a little bit later, but it gains displacement, 3.6 liters versus 3.0. And the single turbo it does have left is right here, actually. It is so big. It actually can't even be driven by the exhaust gases. So it's almost entirely driven by the electric motor. So instant response, no lag whatsoever. There's not even a wastegate actually on this turbo. So is it actually even a turbo? Basically, all the pros of a hybrid and none of the downsides. You want an electric motor, right? So you want the extra boost when you want it instantaneously, you get that. And in this case, having the turbocharger be spooled just by the exhaust gases isn't enough. It's not efficient enough. You don't want the power to be anything short of instantaneous. And with the GTS, you get instantaneous spooling of the turbocharger. There's also an electric motor sandwiched in the 8-speed PDK to assist with torque fill. And all this electrification means it doesn't need a web of serpentine belts. So it's a more compact power unit overall, meaning it's now positioned 110 millimeters or 11 cm lower. That's a huge deal. As you'd expect on 911, there is a huge frunk. In fact, this is the same frunk space as any normal 911 Carrera. But where's the battery? Actually, it is right here. Underneath this cover is a 1.9 kilowatt hour lithium-ion unit that is built by Rimac of all people. So it's a very advanced battery, about the same size as one of those bigger AGM 12-volt batteries. So you don't really lose anything, and it's positioned right here between the front and the rear axles. And it doesn't detract in any way. This car's steering is so lightning quick, so precise. You have that sort of like vagueness with 911 with so little weight on the nose, but it's still so balanced, still so manageable. There's no regen braking on this car either, okay? You won't corrupt the braking feel of this car. So there's no funny regen braking to corrupt anything. And the response is just like a big displacement normally aspirated car, because the thing that you feel when you're in a turbocharged car is torque lag. And you just don't get it here. You just don't get lag. The only thing I haven't done in this car is do a clean launch, okay? Because this car, with all that power and instantaneous torque, is so good off the line. 3 seconds flat, 0 to 100. That is like half a second slower than a 918 Spider. But it just feels hypercar quick. Look, did Porsche need to make a hybrid? I don't know. It's one of those debates, right? But tell you what though, all its competitors are doing hybrids. So Porsche had to respond, I guess, but they've done a hybrid in such a different way. Every time that Porsche has tried something new, everyone is so quick to say they've ruined the car. Oh, you ruined the car, you made this change, you spoiled the formula. But every change so far, they've actually made for the better. You had that with the 930 Turbo, the first car with turbocharging, the 964 Carrera 4 with all-wheel drive, the 996 with water-cooled engines versus air-cooled, the 997 with PDK, the 991 which switched from hydraulic power steering to electronic power steering, the 992.1 with a fully turbocharged Carrera lineup, leaving only the GT3 and the RS to be naturally aspirated. Because what else do you have? You have the McLaren Artura, you have the Ferrari 296 GTB. All went hybrid, but they all gave up something. The Ferrari went to a V6, a smaller displacement V6, so it wasn't as exciting, and it didn't have that, I don't know, it was as fast as an F8 Tributo, but I think you lost something. And the Artura, for some reason, isn't really all that it's meant to be. I think that there was a little bit more liberality when it came to the powertrain. So the Artura isn't quite where it should be, but this is where it's at. They've done as little as possible to take as much as possible from the hybrid system. You know what I mean? Because they could go PHEV, they could do a lot more to make this thing more efficient, but that wouldn't be exciting, would it? No, it'll just be another hybrid, another supercar trying to be an eco-mobile. No, in this case, Porsche has dipped the tiniest toe into electrification. But extracted so much from that dip. I was driving the 911 Carrera before and it just doesn't compare. It feels so much quicker. And it's so much louder too. The last car I drove that had rear wheel steering was the Audi Q7. You could feel that because it was a huge SUV that was made so much more nimble around the streets, around town, and in corners on the highway as well. I can feel the contribution of rear wheel steering. And this car, the GTS, has it too. And it's so nimble. The back end just wants to correct itself out of the corner. It's so tight. You think you want to give it more steering angle, especially in the tighter bends, but you really don't need that. It is intoxicating, this car. If I haven't already said so, big thanks to Porsche Malaysia and Porsche Asia Pacific for having us. The GTS, it's freaking awesome. Hybrid doesn't even enter my mind when I'm driving this thing. It feels like a big, naturally aspirated engine, or a flat six with anti-lag, because it's not really a hybrid. And if you come into this experience with that assumption, it's gonna smack you in the face and rewrite your whole perception of the word. It's a different kind of beast. Decades ago, you might as well call a car a fridge because it has air conditioning, or a bounty castle because it's got airbags. It's kind of the same thing as calling this 911 GTS a hybrid because it's got a hybrid-driven electric turbo. But Porsche officially uses the word, so what to do? Hybrid is still a bit of a dirty word for me, especially when attached to the 911. The good thing is that you can remove the T-hybrid lettering and decal as a no-cost option. It's a no-brainer, that one, just like the 911 GTS.